The Leafs are currently $2.9 million over the cap as they head into the regular season, and they're going to need to start to make some moves. With a lot of names being brought up in trades, waivers, being cut, whatever it is, the most common one that I seem to be seeing online right now is Calle Jarnkrok. Welcome back to Third Man In here on YouTube, our pretty much first week here running this channel, and as I've been noticing, about 65% of the viewers here who are watching these videos are not subscribed to the channel currently. So if you are watching right now and you are not subscribed, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you get notified every single time a video just like this one comes out. As well, when the regular season starts, we will be doing live streams after Leaf games, so make sure to be subscribed here so you don't miss a single second of anything that happened. But with that being said, let's get into the topic for today's video, and it's the idea that Calle Jarnkrok could potentially be the piece going out the door to help alleviate some cap space here for the Toronto Maple Leafs as we head into the beginning of the regular season. Now, for those who are aware, Matt Murray, Jake Muzzin, LTIR, that's going to take away about $10 million of cap space that you're looking at between those two guys. That helps you going on to the LTIR, but with that still in mind, you're still sitting at $2.9 million above the cap. Now, you can obviously hold on to some extra guys as you lead up to the regular season, but you can't go into the beginning of the regular season without being cap compliant, so some moves are going to have to be made. Now, the most obvious one to me here is a Martin Jones waiver. First and foremost, you cannot and will not waive Ilya Samsonov, and now you cannot waive Joseph Woll. So your two goalies are locked there. Martin Jones, you're just not going to carry three, so you're going to have to waive that guy to send him down. I mean, hopefully the Leafs can figure something out to maybe not lose him for nothing. Maybe they can find a trade for him, like at the Tampa Bay Lightning, if they're looking to replace some Vasilevsky in the meantime while he's going to be out. Then you're going to maybe try to offload for a pick or something like that so you don't just completely lose him. But that money goes away, and then you're probably going to open up a little bit more there. But you're still sitting around $2.1, $2.2 million available or above the cap, if Martin Jones is waived. So where's that money going to come from? Well, the name that I keep seeing most frequently online right now is Calle Jarnkrok. What can the Leafs do with Calle Jarnkrok? Well, he's currently sitting at $2.1 million per year, an AAV of 2.1 until 2026. He's got this season and next season on his contract. Now, Calle Jarnkrok last season was a guy who fit in incredibly in the top six and not so much in the bottom six. We saw him not really be able to drive lines, drive play, whereas when he was up in the top six, specifically playing with Austin Matthews, he was incredible. I mean, this guy had a career high in goals, career high in points. 20 goals, 39 points last year. Like, this guy had one of his best seasons, if not his best season points-wise, in the NHL, and the vast majority of that came from playing in the top six. But then the difference that you saw in his level of play was once he went down to the bottom six, and it just really dropped off because he kind of just became another player. He was really just invisible in that situation where he was not really doing anything bad, but he just wasn't producing because he doesn't drive play. He doesn't drive lines. So he needs someone else alongside of him. So very quickly, you start doing some math. You go 2.1. Martin Jones goes down. You're probably sitting around 2.1, 2.2 remaining they have to clear. He's been injured for a lot of the preseason here. He said that he twisted his neck in practice the other day. That's why he hasn't played in these games. He's hoping to get into at least one preseason game ahead of the season. But then you start looking at some of the depth. You start looking at some of the lineups. I mean, you're looking at a right side with Marner right now. Marner, Robertson, Lafferty, Reeves. Who does he slot in ahead? How are some of these guys playing together? What is the fits on some of this? Could he be the guy? You also look down to the Marlies. You have some depth pieces there. You've got Noah Gregor, who's on a PTO right now, probably going to make this team based on the way that he's played throughout this camp and these preseason games. He's looked very, very good. Then you look to the Marlies a little bit further. Abruzzese, Steves, Voigt, Minton looks very good with this Leafs in their preseason camp right now. Tverberg, Clifford. Like, you have guys that you can call up that are going to be on much, much cheaper cap hits that aren't going to affect you as much and can come in, come out, some veteran guys, some younger guys that might have an opportunity. So is Calle Jarnkrok going to fit in above them? Well, here's what I'm going to say. I think Calle Jarnkrok should stay. unless you can find a deal for him that actually genuinely makes sense for you, where you're going to receive some type of prospects or goalie depth or some type of protection where you know you're not going to have other guys nipped away from your team for basically nothing there, where you can maybe mix them into that trade and get something in return. You get minor league guys that you know that you might be able to call up down the road, or maybe you're just going to try to restock on picks. That could be something to do as well. But getting rid of Calle Jarnkrok, to me, for just basically nothing for the sake of opening up the cap is a bad idea, and here is why. The way that the Leafs have this lineup structured currently, they don't technically have a top 6 and a bottom 6. And what I mean by that is splitting up John Tavares and William Nylander to both play center allows you basically 3 top 6 lines. I mean, you're obviously going to go with the natural one, Bertuzzi, Matthews, Marner. That's your 1A, but then you go down Domi, Nylander, Robertson, just giving you an idea of what the lines were in their most recent preseason game against the Montreal Canadiens. Then you kind of look up that third line, Nyes, Tavares, Lafferty. If you put Calle Jarnkrok into that line and you play him on the right side, that's not really a third line. That could be a top 6 on a lot of teams in the NHL. You're also playing with guys who can drive lines, can drive pace. Matthew Nyes, we've seen him with the puck, very, very smart in the offensive zone, wins battles, goes and retrieves pucks in the corner. He's also pretty decent at advancing the puck, it looks like right now, just in terms of hockey IQ. He's going to need to step that up and become better at it, because there's still moments where you can tell there's a little bit of rookie lack of awareness in some of the situations, but you can see it coming along even from where it was when he was playing in the playoffs last year. Just the ability to make decisions at full speed, the ability to move with the puck while being attacked through the neutral zone. Like, he's kind of figuring some of that out, being able to find holes, find gaps, make plays, going into advance into the offensive zone. So Matthew Nyes alongside John Tavares isn't really a third line, and Calle Jarnkrok, he's not really coming in at that much more money than what Sam Lafferty is. So I would much rather just pay the money to a guy like Calle Jarnkrok, who we saw can perform, we saw can score 20 goals in a top 6 position, and just play him on the third line as a faux third line. They're basically a top 6 line anyways. They could be a second line for most NHL teams. So that's kind of where I'd have him in. Now, the problem that this does leave you is you're not getting rid of Reeves, you're not getting rid of Kampf. Are you going to cut Noah Gregor and keep Sam Lafferty and put him on the 4th line? Well, then you're going to end up with even more money that you have to get rid of. So I'd remove Lafferty from this situation. Probably try to find a way to move on from him with picks or something like that. That would be one that I'd be a little bit more okay with getting rid of, just for some picks in return to free some cap space. You still got to move some more money. Martin Jones goes, there's a little bit left. Now, truthfully, I don't have the answer sitting here right now to say this is the guy that moves. That's the guy that moves next. I do think the Leafs have a plan. I think Brad Treliving has done a great job so far since he's been here with this team, upgrading positions. He's made the left side astronomically stronger than what it was last year. I think they look a whole lot better already. Just from a depth perspective up front, I'm interested to see where it continues to go from here. But as far as the right side depth goes, I think Sam Lafferty is the odd man out. I much would prefer to keep Calle Jarnkrok on the right side in that third line position as a faux third line. They basically become your 2B, 2A, whatever you want to call them. You got 1A, 1B, 1C maybe, if that's what you want to roll with. The final thing that I would note here that I think might buy them some time, why we might not see an immediate move or an immediate decision. Connor Timmins was injured the other day. If Connor Timmins is going to be out for an extended period of time, like we've heard some of these insiders and some of the announcers talking about throughout the course of these games over the past couple of days, there is a chance that this Leafs team might put him on some type of IR to alleviate more cap space there. And the reason I think they might not have done it already is because the longer that they wait to put him on the IR, the more time that they buy themselves. They don't need to put him on the IR right now. What does it save them? Nothing ahead of the regular season, where they don't need to be cap compliant right now. They could just kind of hang on to him, see where he's at, see how things are progressing. What if all of a sudden he's just good to go by opening night or 2 days into the season? You're not going to want him on LTIR there saving cap space when you got to bring him right back. But if you think he's actually going to be out and it is as serious as they've kind of led us on to believe that it might be, maybe you free up a little bit more cap space there with Connor Timmins, put him on LTIR, and push the deadline back a little bit. You still kind of got to move on from Lafferty. You're still gonna have to waive Martin Jones, but you just don't have to move that other player immediately if that's the case. So I'm interested to see how that goes. That's another just tidbit I'm going to throw in there of like, hey, this is something that might happen. Be aware for this out there, because I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case with this Leafs team ahead of the regular season. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. I do appreciate it as always. Let me know your thoughts below, who you think should be out the door, who you think should be traded ahead of the regular season to get cap compliant, what your thoughts are on Calle Jarnkrok staying, my thoughts and predictions on that third line, how they would play out. If you think I'm right, wrong, I want to hear all of it. So let me know in the comments below. Can't wait to read it. As always, make sure to subscribe here, like this video, and turn on channel notifications so that you get notified every time more videos like this come out. You don't want to be missing them. As I said, 65% of the people viewing already are not subscribed to the channel. We're trying to get this thing rocking ahead of regular season. So hit that subscribe button. Don't miss out on any videos, any live streams, all of that. And usually say keep believing, but today is the first day of the Toronto Blue Jays playoff series postseason run. So for today's video, I'm going to say, go Jays, go.